Timed out an attack perfectly. Eli Dare had a good ride on day number 1 in that crazy field sprint, managing to place 5th. We saw him getting into a couple moves yesterday also, so obviously feeling relatively good, the young junior rider. Jason Chase, very colorful jersey, sitting about 5 riders back. Rest of the riders coming over the top of him as they're trying to push the pace on the left-hand side, struggling a little bit. Jordan Kuiper from the Alliance Cycling Team. Then we just saw Kent McQuaid coming over the top. A little bit of a conversation between some riders as Jason Lopez tries to go over the top of Crybaby. Light blue jerseys, it looks similar, but it's 2 different teams. That's Cifuentes and a rider from Team Elevate on the front. That's Christopher Dolan on the right-hand side with his jersey flapping wide open. Pink bottom part of the jersey. Riders right now on the stretch leading up towards Crybaby Hill. It's on a stretch of 13th Street, the Riverview neighborhood of Tulsa. Talked about each lap being 0.83 miles long. Just under 100 feet of climbing per lap, but it's a steep climbing per lap. Includes a sharp 120-degree right turn onto Riverside Drive, where then it's a mad dash to the finish. Already have seen in some of the other categories, some riders overcooking those turns and kind of going into the fencing. Back in the day, they had no fencing there. The riders would overcook the turn, sometimes bunny hop the curb, but they had tables and chairs, and it was underneath a tent, so they'd either run into the tables and chairs or perhaps run into the tent pole. And, of course, patrons were under there eating or hanging out, and so it became a little bit more dangerous. And so once again, safety measures implemented to be able to keep the rider safe and the spectator safe, and they have fencing with some padding along that area right now. $116 riders on the start line. You could probably count them all out right now just in this one little stretch of road, probably down to about 50 as the heat and the course taking its toll. You got to remember, it's not just about today. It's not just about Crybaby Hill. You got to remember the efforts that took place on day number 1 and day number 2. Hard racing, fast racing, as right now we see Seth Lastly coming back up to the front. Seth Lastly, his dad used to race. His dad actually a previous national cyclocross champion. And Seth finding himself following in his dad's footsteps, doing some racing, also doing some cross. Just earlier this year, winning 2 stages or 2 days of the Tour of St. Louis as rider in the neon jersey and the third, fourth wheel with that red helmet. Coming out of Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. It's a T-Town Bicycles. Right there. Oh, and a rider down what part of the course this is. That's David Martin out of Keller, Texas. Once again, chain coming off, so got to be able to put that back on. Free laps are still available. Be able to go in and get a free lap. So that was on that fast downhill where he managed to. Yeah, but it's weird on the inside of the corner instead of on the outside of the corner. So that's very different. So bad luck for David Martin out of Keller, Texas. He's going to find himself going into the pit and then be able to come out and hopefully rejoin with the group. And that's important. You see, these riders are off the back. If they have a problem, you get thrown back into the group, you're supposed to get thrown back in where with the group or wherever you are out on the race course. Going back up to our leaders, look at Cifuentes pushing the hammer down. Lastly, following it. Trying to get a little bit of cool off with, oh, that's teammates, though. They're taking care of their teammates out there with the water. You can see the Alliance, I think it's the Alliance team looking out for each other out here, trying to be able to keep their riders cool. Ooh. Our lead group down to about 45 riders right now. A little bit of coasting, a little bit of gathering of themselves, catching their breath. These guys are just celebrating and having fun. Getting hand-ups that contain water but aren't water. Elliot Peterson on the front from Mectrax Racing out of New Orleans, Louisiana. That's that blue and purplish kind of jersey. You can see him as Peterson leading the way up the climb right now. I didn't notice. I was just talking to myself with that last rider there. I missed trying to grab his number to see who he is. Try to send some words of encouragement over the air. Try to see if he can stay with the group. Perhaps he has a chance to be able to get back on right now because these guys are spread out across the road. It's not one line. It's not very fast. Once again, that is getting water. That's the Alliance team on the side there helping out their teammates out of St. Louis, Missouri. The Alliance presented by Road Crew. Masters 40 Plus with Cagle in that top spot, taking a fantastic win. Phil Tinsman, Caselli in third. Well, Christopher Siemens, he's from a local resident out of Tulsa, stopping to say some racing for Air Assurance, and now not racing at all. Just kind of hanging out, enjoying the sights and sounds. Sure, he's going to go back, change, maybe get a shower, maybe not, maybe just throw on some clothes. You're going to end up sweating once you go out there and party anyways. It's 90 degrees out there. Humidity is a little bit less humidity, so it does make it a little bit more comfortable, but it's another scorcher. Once again, and you can see Crybaby Hill behind the barriers has definitely filled in. Jordan Kuiper struggling, man. Just hanging for dear life on the back right now. Making sure he's trying to not to get dropped.